Can everybody hear me? Welcome, everybody.
Hey, Barbara.
Hi.
There you are. All right, we can get started anytime you guys are ready.
Okay.
We're ready.
All right.
Yes, we are.
Okay, first of all, thank you, Will. I haven't spoken to you in a long time.
All right.
It's good to see you.
Yes, you're good.
Do you want to give you a little speech?
Yes, give me 1 second.
Sure.
All right, well, welcome everyone. If this is your first time joining us, you'll notice that you're muted right now, and you're going to stay muted throughout the duration of the meeting, except for whenever one of the co-chairs calls on you. We'll go through the agenda and ask each applicant to present their application. The co-chairs will call on you and you can unmute at that time. You'll help us out if you raise your virtual hand whenever your item comes up on the agenda so that we can know who to unmute. You can participate by going to the reactions icon and pressing the raise hand button there. It's not the wave or the thumbs up, it says raise hand. Only press it once. If you press it a second time, your hand will go back down. If you're calling in from the phone, it's *9 to raise your hand and *6 to unmute whenever you're called upon. Be on the lookout for a prompt asking you to confirm unmuting once one of the co-chairs calls on you. The chat is available for technical support only to help with Zoom software. It is not to ask questions of the co-chairs or any of the presenters. They will never see those chats. If you're using an older version of Zoom, you'll need to go to the participants section where you'll find the raise hand feature there. And finally, we encourage you not to raise your actual hand or wave at the screen. We may miss you and not be able to see you. So if you're having any problems, chat me. I'm here to support. And with that, I'll hand it over to Wilma and Barbara, and they can get the meeting going.
Will, can I ask a
Thank
major
you.
question because of my disability? Yeah. Would you call on people? Would you be able to call on people?
I'm very happy to call on folks as they raise their hand.
Thank you. Okay. Wilma, want to get started? First, I'm going to get started. I'm Barbara Rudder and Wilma Johnson. We're co-chairs. And thank you, even though we're literally still on vacation until September 1st, we're very happy to be holding this. And thank you for everybody for coming. And thank you, Will and Saida, who I think is still on vacation, but she's been so helpful. So with that, Wilma, the first one is the Nightingale. Banford?
Nightingale?
Yes.
Oh, wait, let me find it.
Okay, because
Nightingale.
And we have John.
I think that was number 2.
Okay, number 2. Okay, Nightingale. That's the Banford homecoming, sponsored by the Nightingale Leather School. It's a calling for a full street closure at East 92nd Street between Madison Avenue and Fifth Avenue on Saturday, September 17th from 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Is there representatives for this organization available?
Yeah, we have John. John, go ahead and unmute whenever you're ready.
Hi, how are you today, members? My name is John Omer. I'm the Director of Operations for the Nightingale Banford School, located on 20 East 92nd Street. We put the application in for our annual homecoming. We've had this event prior in the past. It's basically a community or Nightingale community event for the athletics department and the Parents Association. We'll be having two food trucks. We'll have some tables outside set up. We don't have any music planned. We'll have some food distributed from our in-house catering service. I think that's it.
Is it open to the public?
Okay.
Or
Yeah, the street will be open to the public. Correct.
Okay. Great. Okay. Wilma?
When is the last time you had this event?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
When was the last time you had this event?
I would say 3 years ago. I don't think we had it last year or the year before as a result of the pandemic.
Okay, so I remember this, but before the pandemic, you had it only a couple of times, right?
I've been employed by the school for about 4.5 years now. So since I've been employed there, we've had it twice, the homecoming.
Okay.
Any questions from the public?
All right. If there's no questions from the public, I'll ask my questions when
Okay.
after public speaks.
There are no questions from the public. You have a hand up from Michelle.
Okay. I'm not finished answering my questions first. Go ahead, Michelle.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Michelle.
Yes, can you hear me? Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, my question is this. So this event is from 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Is that the total time of the event, or does that include your setup and breakdown?
No, I think the setup is at 8:30 and or the street closure starts at 8:30 and we'll open up at 1. That's the when we put the application in that it was a half an hour for the closure and setup, and then a half an hour for the closure, cleaning the street, or opening and cleaning the streets and breakdown.
Are you going to have any activities at all aside from your food?
No.
So when you say it's a celebration for parents and athletics, but is there any activity that represents that situation, or you're just closing the street and there'll be food served?
There'll be food served, and they'll most likely highlight I guess the athletics for the upcoming year.
You mean at a table promoting sign up? Is that what you mean?
No, not sign up, but maybe they'll introduce some of the athletes. I'm not. They'll talk about the athletic events. With the parents.
Okay, so your main situation seems to be the food. Now you say that you're going to have in-house Nightingale's in-house food providers in addition to food trucks. Those who have been on this call before or have heard me speak know that I am particularly, I'm in favor of food being provided to these events by community-based stores, restaurants, that kind of thing. I'm not in favor of food trucks being brought in. They don't represent, to me, as close-knit members of the community. I like to see the restaurants getting the business. So, but you've got it divided between food trucks and your in-house service. Can you tell me a little bit about what that division is? Who's serving what?
Yes, we have a food truck that will be providing crepes. Layla's Crepes is the name of the organization. And then we have another food truck that will be providing ice cream. It's Van Leeuwen's. We'll have other snack foods provided by Cater to You, which is our food service provider. They'll be cooking in the school and bringing it down to the front.
And was there no way?
And what is the cost?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
May I finish, please? Is there no way?
Yes, you can finish, but remember, I didn't finish my questioning before you started. But go ahead.
Well, I apologize. I was unmuted, so I believed I was called on.
That's all right. You can go ahead.
Okay, just another minute, Wilma. One more minute. Was it not possible for you to provide crepes and ice cream via your in-house service or any local restaurant or food establishment?
I don't think the in-house service would have been able to provide the crepes and the ice cream. They may have.
Well, okay, so you don't really know the answer to that question.
No.
So what I would suggest, from my point of view, I'm going to vote in opposition to this because of the food truck situation. It seems to me that whatever you're providing, they sort of bringing in a little niceties and ice cream or dessert that you could either provide it by your in-house service or by some local restaurateur or food establishment, or even like a Whole Foods or whatever. But I can't support it because of the food trucks. But what I will suggest to you is the full board is not going to vote on this until mid-September. So if you could have an answer for us by that time, that would be the final vote. So I'm going to vote no in committee. If you can provide additional information that uses primarily community services, then I'll change my vote at the full board. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I have questions. Wilma, do you want to answer a question?
No, that's all right. If there's nothing else to ask or anybody else in the,
I do. I do have one question.
Yeah, go ahead, Barbara.
I certainly understand what Michelle is saying, but I have another question. You said this is open to the public. Can the public eat the food, or is it just that they could walk on the street? We usually ask that when we close the street, that it is a public event that is invited to the event. Is that true in this case?
Yes, the public can eat the food.
And is the food cost anything?
No, there's no cost for it.
So anybody could stop and eat whatever is there?
Correct.
Okay. Wilma, do you have more questions?
Not really. I would like to see if we can do a vote on this.
Okay.
If there are no more questions, I would like to say I'm in favor of this event.
I am.
So is that a second, Barbara?
Yes, that's a
Anybody
second.
else there that could make a vote?
It's just
Michelle?
the three of us, I think, are on.
No, you have Addison and Lindsay and Michelle.
Wonderful.
And so just clarify, is this a motion to approve as presented?
Yeah, so should we vote the no
Yes.
vote that if you're against it,
Mhm.
raise your hand, I guess.
Yeah. So if you're voting no, abstaining, or not voting for cause on application item 1, Nightingale Bamford Homecoming, please raise your hand. Michelle, I see your hand, so I'm going to mute you.
No.
All right, thank you. I'm going to give it a couple other
As
seconds.
one vote.
And can we get a list of who's here?
Yeah, I'll list everybody
thank you.
after each vote, just so that
Okay.
it'll be in the audio record and the video
Mhm.
record. So in attendance right now, we have Wilma and Barbara, and then Addison, Lindsay Cormack, and Michelle Birnbaum. And let me just make sure I didn't miss any other board members.
2, 3. So there's 5 of us.
So it is approved by a vote of 4-1.
Thank you, everybody, for coming at such short notice. That's great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. So next on my agenda, I have the Madison Avenue Men's Style Month launch.
Right. Do you want to take that, Wilma, or should I?
Yes, it is the Minister Month lunch, sponsored by 60 to 86 Madison Avenue District Management Association, and they requested a full street closure at 32nd Street between Madison Avenue and Fifth Avenue, Saturday, September 17th, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Any questions from the community?
No, we'll let them present first.
Yeah, we have Matt Bauer from.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Please present it.
Go ahead, Matt.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone.
Yes,
I'm Matt Bauer. Am I still?
Yeah, you're good.
You're fine.
Okay, good. Yeah, hi, I'm Matt Bauer. I'm the president of the Madison Avenue Business Improvement District. Actually, 60-86 Madison Avenue District Management Association is our corporate name. We actually used to begin at 60th Street and go up to 86th Street. Maybe in 2005, we expanded to 57th Street. Anyway, so it's great to be with you all this this Monday afternoon, and I'm pleased to have joining with me to make this presentation, Maria Giannacci from the New York City Concourse. So let me just tell you a little bit about what this event is. As you know, we try to do events to promote the businesses that are in our area. And this spring, there was interest in putting together an event promoting the menswear brands on Madison Avenue. They're actually growing on the street. Actually, about 2 weeks ago, Keaton opened up on Madison Avenue between 62nd and 63rd Street. We pitched for all of the ideas. Do you want to men's stores get together to develop an event to promote new style, new fashion, accessories? And there actually was a lot of very positive feedback from the businesses, and actually 30 businesses on Madison Avenue from 57th to 86th Street have joined into the event. And that includes internationally famous brands like Ralph Lauren and Bottega Veneta and Brunello Cucinelli and Etro, all working together, and also some independent family-owned businesses like the Nicholas Brewer Gallery and Davide Censi on 80th Street. And the notion is that for an entire month, from September 17th to October 16th, there will be programming in the stores to promote the new collections, to learn about the brands, the services that you could get in each of the stores. But, you know, as typical, the brands look to us, look to our association to come up with programming as well. So not only programming in the stores, but programming to amplify what is going on in the stores. And, you know, we looked at one of the successful types of events that have worked for these types of brands around the country, and noted that concourse was something that always worked really well. These are judged events whereby car collectors show their antique and vintage museum quality cars, and they meet together and folks publicly view them and the like. And we actually said, okay, let's see if we could try to do this. And we actually reached out to the folks from the New York City Concourse to see if there was a way that we could partner together, and lo and behold, we can, which was great. And so Maria is actually a curator and brings together all of the different car collectors and brings them here. And we'll tell you a little bit more about the concourse in a second, but also there's programming on that day. We'll be having, and once again, we're mentioning that we're actually asking to close 72nd Street between Madison and 5th, because there'll not only be the concourse, the actual display of about 30 cars on the street, museum quality vehicles, but also there'll be informal modeling from our brands themselves. They'll bring brand ambassadors to the stage, talks and the like, some music as well. Now, why 72nd Street? Well, actually, we try to do this to be as minimally impacting of the neighborhood as we possibly could be, while at the same time actually creating a venue that actually works, that would allow these car collectors to come. And actually 72nd Street was already scheduled to be closed that day as an access point for the Steuben Day Parade, which is taking place the same day. There's a lot happening in the fall in New York City. And we reached out to the 19th precinct and been working with them to make sure that this would and actually suggestion that it would work and not be impactful to the folks that were in the parade, but at the same time, really create a good venue for this. And it's actually also, right by the Ralph Lauren store. So there'll be folks watching over from our own stores to make sure this is going to be really a great quality event that everyone in the neighborhood could come to. It is completely free and open to the public. And many times these concourses you have to pay tickets for. This is completely free and open to the public to visit and experience this event, and also things that are happening in the stores that day. We will be actually putting in our fire lane on the north side of East 72nd Street, which is where there's the parking garage. So cars, if they did need to get out of the parking garage, they'll be able to do so that day. And of course, we'll have our own Madison Avenue Bid public safety officers that are going to be there keeping the place safe with the PD, as well as our own Glean team, who will be cleaning the streets and making sure everything is clean throughout the day. So Maria, do you want to, if it's okay, if Maria could speak just a second about the actual exhibition that will be on the street that day?
Hello, my name is Maria Giannacci, and I will be curating the cars for Madison Avenue Bid event. I live on the Upper East Side. I totally respect any kind of events that happen in the area, so we'll make sure that we make it as low impact as possible. The cars that come, the 30 cars that come, about half of them will drive themselves onto the street, and the others will be trailered, and the trailers will be parked downtown at Pier 36. So there's minimal congestion. And these are collector cars. These are classic vintage antique cars, pre-war cars, some sports cars. They're mainly, you know, museum type. Not many of them are, you know, they're not daily drivers, let's put it that way. They're special, iconic, rarely seen cars. It gives people the opportunity to see something that you wouldn't normally see. I kind of look at it as it's a gallery of art gallery of rolling art. It works great for the neighborhood. It's you know, it's a gorgeous block, and you know, my whole mission for doing these kind of events is to make it more inclusive. So it's great that this is going to be open to the public so that people can see these cars that they wouldn't normally see.
So no, thank you so much. I'm glad to answer any questions.
Thank you so much. It was explained. It's very thoroughly. It's really great. I can almost see this happening. I think this is the first time we had this event, and I really look forward to seeing that this happens. Depending on other people. Anybody have any questions for the public at all at this point?
I'll just remind you, if you have any questions or you want to make any comments, you can go to the go to the reactions section at the bottom of your screen and press the raise hand button, and we'll see your hand go up. Otherwise, I see Michelle has her hand up, and we can go to her.
Thank you. Matt, just clarify for me, you referred to your corporate division or your corporate, how is that related to the Madison Avenue Bid logo or title? Could you explain a little bit about that?
Sure. The New York City Business Improvement District law, and there are 77 business improvement districts in New York City, are officially contracted for something called a district management association. And the District Management Association is under contract with the City of New York to provide supplemental services to the community. Those supplemental services include sanitation services, public safety, marketing, advocacy services, and the like. So the official, and that is who we do all our programming under that corporate name, though it is called the parlance in the city is called Business Improvement District. Other groups are called, they change their name to Alliance or partnerships, but we just kept Business Improvement District, but we are legally DBA'd as the Madison Avenue Business Improvement District. We have a formal DBA, but our official corporate name, our taxes, everything like that, which we don't pay because we're a not-for-profit, obviously, but we file a 990, is under the 60-86 Madison Avenue District Management Association Incorporated.
Okay, so you are you're doing this under the heading or guise of as a nonprofit, but it is to promote the businesses along the avenue. But as your association, you're a nonprofit. So, are you going to have any food or music? What is your promotion consisting of? How are you going to be tying the visibility of these cars, seeing these cars, with your businesses, or are the cars really being used as an exhibition to attract people? But at what point, in other words, how does the advocacy for the business intersect with the viewing of the cars? If you could explain a little bit about that.
Sure, and I should say that in our not-for-profit mission, providing economic development services and providing support for the businesses is a key component of our mission and our district plan, which of course is part of the governing documents of our organization. So yeah, the stores are being involved in a number of different ways, and I think you are correct that it is one of the ways that we're going to attract people to the avenue. You know, what makes this day different than other days along Madison Avenue? What makes it special? And this will be this as a kickoff event to do something that is new and innovative, but also many of the stores are going to be doing their own events, working with the car collectors. That will be, in addition, that we're going to be using the venue of the concourse to showcase the individual brands. So like I said, there's going to be some informal modeling that's going on. And the like. So there'll actually be a direct, very much tie, and how we promote this is through that effort. And I should say also that we have a media partnership with the Wall Street Journal, and they're helping to promote the event. So we have an event website that will be soon launching that will be promoting the event. So a lot of different ways that we'll be trying to get the word out, and the like. Will there be any food? No. Will there be music? Yes. We will have a stage, and we will have a live jazz trio performing at that location. And we'll also have other a cappella singers in other parts along Madison Avenue throughout the day, because the event does extend. Our southernmost store that's participating in the event is Berluti at 57th Street in the Fuller Building. Our northernmost business that's participating is the Nicholas Brewer Gallery between 79th and 80th. So we're trying to have programming throughout the day, and the stores will also be doing in-store events, from styling to made to measure there. So, but it is a terrific collection of retailers that are taking part, and stores, you know, Giorgio Armani and Ralph Lauren they're all seeing their names in alphabetical order. And so it's wonderful to see all these brands working collectively to really promote the neighborhood, and which is so important for in our challenging times.
So forgive me, Matt, some more follow-up. I appreciate what you're saying, and I know that you have big name brands. We understand that, but you just said that this will extend, and you'll have other events on Madison Avenue. I mean, I understand that events happen in the stores. That's their private property. Within the stores, they can do whatever they like, their promotion, whatever they like. You're going to have a stage with music on 72nd between Madison and 5th, plus all these cars. That's going to make for a pretty busy street. But you also said that the entertainment will extend on Madison Avenue. When you said on Madison Avenue, do you mean the street of Madison Avenue or inside the shops that are on Madison Avenue?
There will be perform events in the stores along Madison Avenue, and we will have a cappella singers that'll be singing on Madison as well. And we're going to actually have that jazz trio move to another location, but we're not going to be requiring any other street closures for this. As you recall, for our Miracle on Madison Avenue event, which has been going on for 36 years, we have had carolers performing in front of all the participating stores, and the same group that is doing that does our caroling also does Broadway show tunes and American standards, and they will be performing in front of some of the participating stores just to make the day feel special throughout our 29 block district.
Okay, what kind of permitting? I know what kind of permitting you need to close this street and to do this event. What kind of permitting do you need for what you're describing on Madison? This permit does not cover that as far as I understand. So can you explain to me how you are doing that? Who's giving you permission to do that?
It would be my pleasure. No, of course. You know, when carolers are on the street, that doesn't require a street activity permit or a special event permit if they're not blocking the sidewalk and not becoming an encumbrance, and which we will not do. So it will. It doesn't require any special permitting to do that type of programming on the street. For the event itself on 72nd Street, if there is amplified sound, we do need a sound permit from the police department, and which of course we would be applying for.
Is it your intent to have this on a yearly basis?
We don't know. At this point, we are very, very fortunate to have it this year. And it would be lovely to see other programming that we're doing with New York City Concours. And I think they're a great organization and love to continue a partnership. But every year we look to do things, this potential that we may do something like this again. But I don't know really where we'll be and how what necessarily will happen for next year. But for this year, we are extremely, extremely fortunate that Maria answered our call when I picked up the phone and called her and said, could we work together? But it certainly is a kismet moment to get 30 brands together this fall, and for future we will definitely see and come back.
Okay, good. One last question that
Of
I don't know
course.
the answer to. Maybe the co-chairs do, maybe Will does. Is there any other street closure that you can recall that involves a wide two-way street like this? Does anybody have any information about
None on this one. Will, do you know?
No, I don't have
I-
information there.
I don't, but every other one would have a crosstown bus on it. And excuse me if I'm
No,
wrong.
I'm talking about a
Matt,
big, it's a wide two-way street.
yeah, I mean,
I
well, so
wonder,
then
is there- Do
as
you
far as
know
wide
any?
streets, you have
Wide.
all of the multi-block festivals that are on the wide streets,
No, but
they're
they're
not
one-way.
two-way.
The
Yeah.
wide one-way
And so,
streets.
yeah, as
Like
far as
Third
the
Avenue, Second Avenue, Ninth
Mhm.
Avenue. I'm just wondering, are there any two-way wide streets? I can't think of any. I
yeah,
just
that's why
wondered
I
if
was
anybody knew.
that's why I was saying, like, most of those have a cross. Matt does know the answer to this because he's smarter than I am.
Well,
But
I'm not smart at all. But I should tell you, Summer Street, this block was closed during Summer Streets, and there are certainly Summer Streets where that happened a couple of weeks ago, and Park Avenue
No,
was closed.
Summer Street's Park Avenue was closed.
And last year, 72nd, that Summer Streets, there was a decision made. I think you brought it up, Michelle, that the DOT made a change to that Summer Streets, instead of turning west on 72nd Street to the park.
It went to
extended.
109th.
Right. So that was there was a precedent with that last summer and the summers before for some streets, actually, where they did close down 72nd Street during each of the Summer Streets events in the
But they
past.
didn't do
And
that this year, is that correct?
correct. They did not. And but once again, I just reaffirm that this block was already being closed for the Steuben parade.
Did the Steuben, was it closed because they assembled their floats or they docked their floats? What was the purpose of the closure? Was it?
I think it's access, in and out access, so people could walk back and forth. And but
And this is
you know,
not an issue with them in terms of their start and stop?
the police department did not feel that this was a concern, and yeah, that's why we're and there are other locations on the side streets where they are using that as assembly points. So there's a couple of them.
Should you check with their organizers and make sure that they're not using it for float destinations for assembly or disembark?
Well, that's always certainly a consideration.
I think you
We could
probably
reach
should check with their organizers about that, because it's a wide street. It's a start and end point. I can see where they would maybe be planning on docking their floats. At any rate, I would check with them as a suggestion.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I would like to know that answer actually. But at any rate, thanks for all the information. Thank you.
Is there anybody else? Can I ask my question? Because it's more just understanding. I'm not understanding what the cars are doing. Can people go in the cars? Is it just people going to walk by and see them?
They view them. They just admire them. It's like going to an art gallery.
Nobody drives. They're just parked.
No, they're parked there, and the owners of the cars stand by their cars and they talk about them and explain them to the attendees. It's kind of like going to an art gallery where you appreciate art. You look at it different.
So they're not going to be riding back and forth. They're going to be stable. They're going to
stay. They park in a display where they're easily seen. Most people take a lot of pictures of them, selfies with the cars.
And there could be maybe modeling going back and forth with the, because I'm trying to also see the connection with the clothing, besides the fact that people will come to look at the cars and hopefully buy a suit or something like that.
Yeah, there's definitely car collectors are tend to be, you know, the
can afford the car, you can afford the suit.
Yeah, you can go shop. They could afford to go shop there. So it's, you know, for me, being a native New Yorker and what we've been through with COVID, anything to help bring the city back and the vibrancy of the city back, especially to help the retailers of probably the greatest shopping block in the world. You know, when Matt called me and asked me to do this, I said, I'll curate. I'd love to be able to support the retailers.
I understand that. I just didn't know the logistics. Just a couple of other questions. I assume that MTA will know how to redirect the buses. They'll work and redirect the buses back and forth on 72nd.
Yes, and that's something that we do that the police department officially does. Right. But yes,
you work with it. And I had, just in terms of the acapella, you had said they may be using loudspeakers also, or not?
The acapella do not use loudspeakers.
So they won't. So because you mentioned you may need a license for that.
Well, you need a sound permit. If you use amplified sound, you need a sound permit.
But you don't think you'll need it because they won't need it. Okay, great. Michelle asked the other questions I had, so thank you very much. Okay. Anybody else have questions?
No other hands up.
Okay. I'll call the vote. Somebody.
Well, you have Addison, actually. Addison, go ahead.
Thanks.
Oh, it was just going to be a motion to approve as presented.
Great, I'll second it.
Yeah.
Should we call the vote if anybody is against it?
I think so. Addison, I'm going to lower your hand. Michelle, I see your hand is up. Did you want?
I'm going to abstain for the moment.
Okay. All right. So.
Okay.
And it's the same people, I assume.
Give me 1 second. I think we may have lost someone. Oh no, Lindsay's still here. Okay.
So it's yes. 401, right?
401. Yes.
Great. Thank you.
This is a good one. Okay. Go
Okay.
ahead, Barbara, for the next one. You go ahead.
Yeah, just give me 1 second to get to it. So that's number 3 is the Steiner Fall Street Fair.
Yes.
Yes.
And Saida wanted me to note that when you guys were initially sent the application, it had 2 p.m. and the end is actually 4 p.m. So just for both you, Wilma and Barbara, your notes. But we
I have 4 p.m. on the
Oh, good.
on
Okay,
the
good.
agenda. It does say 4 p.m.
Good. All right. You have
It's 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
you have, I guess, Gabriella.
Is that the right time?
Yes, until 4
Is
p.m.
that the right time?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm saying is it 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., right?
Yes, that's what I have.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And Gabriella, are
Is
you
there representative for?
Yes, so thank you, Will, and thank you, everybody on the board for taking the time. I know you're on vacation, as you duly noted. Appreciate taking time off from your resting time
I think being back.
to hear us. So my name is Gabriela Cordo, and I'm the school administrator here at Rudolph Steiner School. This is our second year actually applying to host these Steiner Fall Fair on 78th Street. In prior years, we have done it inside our lower school building, but that tends to get really, really crowded. And so I wanted first to express my gratitude for allowing us to host our fair on 78th Street last fall. It worked really, really beautiful. The main objective or goal of the event is basically community building. That's what we do at this event. So the closure is requested in terms of event start and end time, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And as we did last year, we're requesting 2 hours in the morning and then 2 hours in the afternoon to be able to set up and then break down and clean up. We were rather efficient last year. I think by 5:10 we were done. So we'll try to clear the street as quickly as we can, but that's the request in the permit application. And so the idea will be just to hold activities that bring the community together, and with the intention be not just the Steiner community as a school, but our more extended community, which is our alumni, and then the even more extended community of our neighborhood. So this is open. People last year walked through and participated in some of these activities. It's games for the children. We'll have our jazzette, and that's our high school students playing some jazz on the sidewalk. No amplifiers, not too much noise. We're just trying to promote the work that we do and use that also as a means of bringing people together. And I think we're all ready to gather. I think being able to do this again on the street, considering that yes, we're getting out of the pandemic, but we're not yet quite there, it would be a good opportunity to be able to do it again. And in terms of activities, or we're going to have some sponsors that are closely related to the school, in the sense that we have an alumni who has developed this business in Brooklyn, and so he'll be there with his table promoting what he does. We'll have an alumni table for them to gather, get together and catch up after a year or two when they haven't seen each other. And then again, with games, we'll have another table simply describing what the school is about, and people can freely stop by and check in with our teachers. And then the different activities. I think last year we did jump rope making, and that was so fabulous, actually, that we had to get an extra machine this year to accommodate that. People really wanted to join. It's really thrilling to see actually generationally how the event impacts both the younger children to grandparents, so everybody is free to show up. No stage requirement. We're not bringing food carts. The food trucks. Sorry. The only thing that we will be bringing is an ice cream cart, and it's called a la mode, and it's a family owned. It's owned by a New York family who came up with this idea due to some allergies at home. So it's not free, and we'll have them there for people to just buy. It's a small cart. So I don't know if you have any.
Open to the public, right?
Yeah, open to the public. And last year, people actually were stopping by from the neighborhood and inquiring and joining in some of these, basic games like beanbag throw and things like that. Nothing too extravagant, if I may say, but it's more about.
I'm sorry. The only food is the ice cream.
So so we'll have the ice cream, and then we will have some sandwiches prepared by our on-site kitchen team, and then we'll have some the small bottles of water for sale for this is not about making money, it's more about community building. So
thank you. Any questions?
All right. I'm just going to remind everybody they can go to the reactions icon and press the raise hand button if they have a question. Otherwise, I see Michelle has her hand up. Go ahead, Michelle.
Yeah, just to clarify, are you having any inflatables for the children?
No, we're not.
No, so it's only street games as you have devised them. You're purchasing tickets for those, or are they all just?
No, we will be selling some tickets, just for example, for the jump rope making, just to cover the cost of the wool that we use for that. But then, you can go, we'll have jump ropes out there. And so last year people were jump roping, adults included, with that's at no cost, of course, we're doing the games.
Okay, so whatever, there may be tickets for some of the games, but no inflatable. The food is being provided, mainly sandwiches by your in-house.
Yes.
And then you're saying you're having an ice cream. You didn't say truck, you said cart.
Cart. It's a small cart, some, very not even an umbrella or anything. It's a little cart. And these, they will be, I don't know which side of the street exactly, or whether Madison.
Is it licensed? You said it's family licensed.
Yes, it is licensed, and they also have, they have shops around the city. It's called a la mode, but they also provide these cards for events like this.
Oh, do they have a shop in our area?
Yeah. Oh, well, I don't know if it's actually here in the Upper East Side, but they are here in New York.
But they have bricks and mortar.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Okay.
Anybody with a question?
Michelle, did you think of something? Oh, no, just kidding. Sorry. And Barbara, I muted you. Go ahead and unmute yourself. I don't see any other hands up, though.
Doesn't work. Okay. I'll call the question for approval.
And I'll second it. Yeah.
Okay, great.
I'll second it.
All right. If you're voting no, abstaining, or not voting for cause, raise your hand, please. For an approval. All right. It is unanimous, 5-0. Same people as previous votes.
Wonderful. Great.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great.
Okay, number 4 is welcome back to school.
I think it's the town school now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stephen, go ahead and unmute.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi, this is Stephen Petrillo. I'm Director of Security here at the Town School on East 76th Street between York Avenue and the FDR Drive. We applied for this permit to bring our families and students back to school. We're happy to have them on board after COVID. We have not had this for 2 years now, but this will be our 14th year holding this event. We've been very successful in the past. Thanks to this community board, I see some familiar faces. It's a free event for our families and our students, as well as the public is invited as well. We do not bring any outdoor vendors to this event. The only vendor that we use is a local vendor, Language, on the corner of York Avenue and 76th Street, where we will have coffee and probably muffins. We purchase from them for our volunteers when they set up. In the afternoon, our event goes from 11 to 4. Our kitchen staff comes in and provides food for the children. Simple food for the children. Anyone that wants it is totally free to them. Our maintenance staff will go out in the morning, clean the street, and we will clean the street after the event as well. We're not selling anything. With anything that we have for school, could be a town school hat, could be a something like a glove. It's all free to anyone that comes to the event, including the public. We do have 2 inflatable rides that we plan on hopefully using. We have used them in the past from a company called Great Neck Games. They have applied to the Mayor's Office Community Assistance Unit. They are licensed and they have worked with the community board and the Mayor's Office in the past at our school for previous events, as well as other events. We will have music there. We will apply for a sound device permit from the 19th precinct. We plan on playing some children music, some little dancing with some of our nursery, 1st, 2nd grade, 3rd grade students. We will not play loud music or foul music. We have worked with our neighbors very properly in the past. There is a parking garage closer to York Avenue. We do not interfere with them at all. We set barricades up to allow any vehicle that wants to get into the garage or leave the garage that day. So there's no inconvenience to anyone on the street at all. That's it.
Thank you. That's good.
Any questions?
Any questions from the public?
Not seeing any hands up yet. All right, Michelle, go ahead.
If there are no questions from either the board or the public, I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Second.
All right.
No hands up for
No
negative.
hands up. So if you
That's
guys are
fine.
ready to vote, you're welcome to. All right. If you're wanting to vote no, abstain, or not vote for cause, just please raise your virtual hand right now. Give it a second. All right, it is approved by a vote of 5-0 with the same 5 board members:
Thanks.
Barbara, Wilma, Addison, Lindsay, and Michelle.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Number
Okay.
5 is Goat Hill.
The Goat Hill Block Party, sponsored by the neighbors of the block, full street closure at 95th Street between Lexington Avenue and Park Avenue on Thursday, October 6th, from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Is there a representative here to explain this activity?
Yes. Hi, everyone. Thank you for this. Thank you for having me. My name is Margaret Edson. I am president of our block this year. We are located on 95th Street between Park and Lex. And this is really an event. It's for the whole community. I really just wanted to get our group together outside and celebrate our wonderful neighborhood. It's been a long time since we've all been able to get together, and our street in particular has had a hard go in the last year, as I'm sure you all know. Between there was a shooting outside of my house on April 26th of last year, and then there was another shooting earlier in the summer and on 95th Street as well, just a block away from us. And so we're at this pivotal point where we're really trying to come together as a group and build morale. It is really open for everyone and anyone that lives in the neighborhood to come and join us. I listed it from 4 to 7 because we've had a lot of turnover on our block in the last couple of years, and a lot of new families have come in with kids. And we still have some people on the block that have been around for 50 years. And so it's a nice time to get the kids on the block together. I'm envisioning putting some chalk out for the kids to draw. It's really simple. I've not hired any vendors. We're not doing any inflatables. It's really just a time for us to get together and mingle with one another in person. And again, we're kind of eager to have as many people in the community come as possible, just to kind of build our morale up on 95th Street. I don't have any plans for food or drinks. I figure, when families need to feed their kids, they'll go home, and maybe they'll come back out after. But again, this isn't really, this is not to make money. This is not to sell things. It's really just for our group to come together and to open it up to anyone in the neighborhood.
Thank you.
I'm happy to answer any questions. I don't have too many details just because there really aren't that many details. It's really just meant to be a morale booster for our group and for our neighborhood. But, I'm happy to answer any questions that you all have.
Thank you.
Any questions?
I'm just going to remind everybody they can raise their virtual hand if they have a question or want to make a comment. But I do see Michelle has her hand up, so we'll go to her.
Yeah, thank you. Mark, I appreciate the effort here and the camaraderie and the nicety of all of this. You've had this a few years in the past, and I understand all that, but to me, there has to be a really good reason to close a street, and the resources that takes from the city, the toll that it takes on others, on traffic, etc. And while this really couldn't be a nicer gesture, and it's very sweet and it's community oriented, I just don't support these kinds of closures. Tomorrow 83rd Street may want to close for the same reason, or 74th Street, whatever. But I think you can understand what I'm saying. So it's not a personal thing against the Goat Hill Block Party. It's a feeling and sort of a policy, my own personal point of view, that I tend not to support these kinds of arbitrary closings. So for that reason, I won't support it. So I'm just offering that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Michelle.
Nobody
Any other
else?
comments?
Yeah, are there any other comments or questions?
I would like to make a statement.
I
I understand what Michelle is saying, but I just feel in this city, I'm very sorry you need it for morale boosting. That's a horrible reason for you to need it. I just feel in the city to have something for a few hours a year that does cause people to get together, which is so unusual in Manhattan. I'm going to support this wholeheartedly, and I wish it was for less dramatic reasons that you would feel the need. So I will support this.
Thank you. The only thing I will just add is we're hoping to get our police officers, and we're in touch with Councilman Powers, and I'm hoping to get him involved as well, just because I know everybody needs a little morale boost after COVID, but I think that the shootings that have happened on our block have been upsetting, to say the least. And so for that reason, this is why I'm here with you all today, but I support what, I can understand everyone's position. I just wanted to make that statement that, there is the particular reason for it this year is just because of what has happened on our block in the last year.
Okay.
Any other questions? I'm willing to call the question then in favor of this.
I'll second it.
Okay. All right. So if you'd like to vote no, abstain, or not vote for cause on an approval of this application, please raise your hand. I see Michelle's hand is up. Michelle, go ahead and explain your vote.
Yeah, no.
Thank you, Michelle.
Okay.
Going to give it 2 more seconds to see if any of the other committee members want to vote no. So it looks like it passes 4 to 1.
1 to 0. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
I think we're up to number 6, which is
We didn't see them the annual block party. Is that one we're up to now?
Yes.
Okay, it's sponsored by the Madison Avenue Presbyterian Church. You gonna do that one, Barbara? You want me to do it?
you can do it.
Okay, so
I'll call them out.
this is an annual block. Excuse me. This is an annual block party. sponsored by the Madison Avenue Presbyterian Church. A full street closure at East 73rd Street between Madison and Park Avenue on Sunday, October 16th, from 11:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. Any representatives to explain this event to us?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you for having me. My name is Chesna Hinckley. I am one of the pastors at Madison Avenue. This is the second year that we have done this. We did it long ago, many years before my time. It was a regular event, and we have brought it back. So we did it last year. It's a 2-hour event, roughly, with some padding on either end to set up and tear down. We will have inflatables. We will have tents with street games and crafts sponsored by our day school. And then we will have food, but it will all be inside our building. So we're not having any vendors, and we're not doing any outdoor cooking.
And open to the public.
Open to the public. And
even the indoor food would be open to the public?
Yep.
Okay, great.
All right, are there any questions?
Any questions from the public first?
I'm not seeing any hands going up.
Okay.
No hands up.
I'll call the question.
Okay. Yes, I'll second it.
On an approval, I assume, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes, we'll do, go ahead with the event, yes, approval.
All right, if you would like to vote no, abstain, or not vote for cause on this application and an approval, please raise your hand now. Give it 2 seconds. And it looks like it is approved 5-0 with the same 5 board members, Barbara, Wilma, Addison, Lindsay, and Michelle.
Right.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, this will be more interesting. Number 7 is the Chabad Israel Center.
Okay. That is the Chabad Israel Center as a street party sponsored by the Chabad Israel Center. A full street closure at East 92nd Street between 2nd Avenue and 1st Avenue on Monday, October 17th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. We have representatives for this event.
Hi, yes. My name is Ariel Schulp, and I do the event coordinations for Chabad Israel Center. We are applying to do a full street closure on October 17th for a few hours from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. It's going to be just the community and their families coming, and we'll be giving like finger foods, everything. We're going to be getting it from a local restaurant. We're going to be free of charge, open to the public. Public can have the food as well. And it's just going to be dancing, no amplified music. And the setup is within that time frame as well. It's just very easy setup. And it's to celebrate the Jewish holiday Simchas Torah. We have it every year, but usually we do it indoors. So this year we would like to move it outdoors. It's going to be on 92nd between 1st and 2nd Ave. And yeah, do you guys want any more details? I don't know what I missed.
So any questions?
All right, raise your hand, your virtual hand, please, if you would like to ask a question. Go to the reactions icon, press the raise hand button. Go ahead, Wilma.
Yes, that particular street, 92nd Street, the traffic goes on the drive from 2nd Avenue. A lot of traffic comes to down 2nd Avenue, the crossover going to the drive. And I just can't see that seat being closed and on a Monday for 3 hours. It's a lot of traffic on that street going into the drive from Second Avenue. They make that turn on Second Avenue, and they go straight to the drive.
Yeah, we'll be doing it in the evening. I see what you're saying. I don't notice as much traffic during that time. And it's gonna be, it's not gonna be too long.
And the police have already okayed it. I assume you've already got.
Yeah, yes.
Also, I just can't have nothing else to say about it then. I see it as a problem, but if the people see it as a problem, it's okay.
And may I ask a couple of questions?
Yes.
Go ahead, and then
So
Michelle.
one is just, Michelle first. Michelle, you go.
Oh, no,
first.
either way.
Okay. Michelle, I'll go very quickly if you don't mind. The two restaurants that are there, very popular restaurants, the bar and then Drunken Monkey, will you be interfering with their outdoor dining or anything like that?
No.
So the street wouldn't do it. And will it be like Jewish type of dance? Like what dancing would it be?
It's more just like dancing with the Torah, because this holiday it's like celebrating the Jews getting the Torah every year. So they're going to be just like dancing around it, probably like circle dancing, and just like a lot of socializing probably also. I don't think everybody's going to be dancing, but it's just like the community's just going to like gather together.
Okay. Thank you. Michelle?
Go ahead, Michelle.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, it's a celebration of a specific holiday, which is fine, but I have the same concerns about 92nd Street being a primary access to both north and south entree to the FDR. And the Delizia outdoor dining shed takes up a good percentage of that street on the south side, and I believe you're almost directly opposite it. You're on the north side. Are there any garages on that block?
Not
Yes, too.
Not between where we want to block it off.
Well, where are you say you're not interfering with the sheds of either of the restaurants, and you're saying you're not interfering with the garages. So exactly where on that street are you putting up barriers so that you're just precisely in front of your school? I mean, how are you differentiating what that spread will be going down the block, considering all that's happening?
So there aren't garages between first and second. I do know the shed that you're talking about, but we wouldn't be, that's more on the sidewalk area. I don't.
No, it's not the sidewalk. It's on the south side of the street, and it's in the street. It's Delizia's sidewalk shed, but well, I'm saying open restaurant.
Is that open?
Yes.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody.
Oh
there.
yes, they actually have jazz music there.
Okay.
Yeah, I was there today. It's definitely
that's been there for years. That's
more than a quarter of the year.
Yeah, that's a substantial shed. South side of 92nd Street, just off 2nd Avenue.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. I thought there was a pizza shop right there on the corner.
Well, that's Delizia.
Okay. So they have jazz?
It's a full Italian restaurant.
Mm.
It's not just a pizza, it's a full Italian restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
It has restaurant seating inside.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know. I think that's an issue. Well, you said that you're getting food from a local restaurant. What kind of food and from what restaurant?
So that, I don't know what type of food we would do. I know it would be like hot dogs and like sides, French fries and stuff. It would be probably this kosher restaurant called 18. It's on 80th and 2nd or 81st and 2nd, somewhere in that area.
Okay, all right, but that's a neighborhood restaurant, so that's fine. But I am concerned about that particular street. Now you say you're having amplified music as well?
No, there would not be any amplified music.
Oh, so the dancing is to what?
Oh, it would just be like that, just vocal, like singing and dancing themselves, like that.
Oh, but no microphone or anything like that?
No microphone, but it's actually, we don't use electronics on the holiday.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I have two last questions. Number one, why you've held it indoors before?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you not holding it indoors now?
It's a lot more people now. We have a much larger community now, and we don't have the space for it.
I see.
Yeah.
My second question, which I realize you'd like it in front of your premises, but in light of the problems with that particular street, would you consider having it on 93rd Street?
I can definitely, run that by my boss, and I don't know, I don't see why it would be a problem to do it on 93rd instead.
Yeah, I just think that street is less problematic, and I can't imagine that you couldn't get a permit for 93rd if they would give it to you for 92nd. I would appreciate it if you would look into that.
Okay, I can.
Now, our full board meeting, this is for October, so we have to decide on this at the September full board. But will, just technically speaking, is there a way that they could talk to the permits office, and maybe if their board is in agreement, which it sounds like Ariel said it might be, to sort of get this transferred to 93rd in time for our full board meeting?
I mean, they would just have to amend their application and, come to our full board meeting and present the change. And by present, I mean, we have a public session at the beginning of all of our full board meetings. They would just sign up for the public session. Just, in the committee report, it would be, whatever you guys approve or don't approve, vote on tonight. But if, they have an amended application that they come and they, remark on it, the committee, when they deliver their report, you can single this item out and vote on it separately as either, vote on it as whatever you approve now, or vote on it as an amended resolution.
So I would just suggest, because I want to see this happen for them. So I don't want to have, a vote, but if they were in agreement, can we hold it over and just put in the minutes for this reason, and looking for a change of street and a resolution at the full board, or make a resolution tonight saying we're waiting for that, however you all want to handle it. But I think if they're agreeable and there are so many concerns on 92nd, then that would be a good solution.
Yeah, I think you guys should vote on something tonight, so that in
I
case they
have three
don't show up.
questions, by the way.
I'm sorry, Wilma?
I would like to, I have three questions I would like to ask.
Okay.
Okay. First question is this a school or is this a center?
It's a synagogue.
On 92nd?
Okay, synagogue. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out, where on 92nd Street. I know that block very well.
Our address is 1766 2nd Ave. So it's the same area that the
It's also on
preschool
2nd
is.
Avenue.
Yeah, but we're not
So
we're not trying to do it on 2nd Ave. We wanted to do it. We have
No, I'm just trying to figure out where the school is.
we have two
You said it's
entrances.
a center.
Right. So it's it's in that
Okay, what is
location where the
92nd
preschool
Street?
is.
Wait, let her finish. Wait, I'm sorry, Ariel.
Oh, no worries.
The center is on 2nd Avenue, you said, or synagogue is on 2nd Avenue?
Yes. So right now we're we're the preschool and we're the center. We're actually planning on moving to Fifth Ave soon to get a bigger space. But right now, currently, we're in 1766 Second Ave.
What street is that?
Yeah, I'm very confused about this now. Let me finish my questions. I have another question about this. It's very confusing because the school is actually, or the center. Hi, come in. The center is actually on. Come in. The school is actually on Second Avenue, it's preschool, and then the center is located on 92nd Street. Also, you're going to have to go through a full application again because there's a whole change. The address is actually not on Second Avenue between Second and First Avenue. It's on Second Avenue between 92nd and 93rd Street, right?
So if you look, it wraps around the whole corner. So we're this part.
Mm-hmm.
We're both sides. We're on Second Ave, and then we have another entrance right here on the corner, and it's
okay.
So we're this whole corner.
92nd Street. You're representing it as 92nd between Second and Third and First Avenue. That's what I'm looking at. I didn't even think about it being on Second Avenue.
We don't want to do Second Avenue. No, I was just saying that's our main entrance is on Second Avenue, and we have another entrance on 92nd Street.
Okay. All right. Now, I have to get off the call for a second. I am until I get more information. I can't approve this because I'm very confused about what she's asking for.
Well, there's a.
I'll be back.
I'm trying to just block off between 92nd between First and Second. We want to block off that street.
I think I understand. The actual synagogue or school or whatever it is the main entrance is on Second, but the actual affair will be on 92nd Street around the corner.
Yeah.
Come in, please.
Okay. You have to go, Wilma. I know you have. Hello?
I'll be back, Jack.
Okay.
I'll be back in a few minutes.
Okay,
yeah,
great.
But it's very confusing to me.
Yeah, I'm a little confused too. So you're in that fairly new building. I think it's a senior building or low income. What is it, Will? The building that's there. Is that where you are? I've always wondered what was in the bottom floor.
Yeah, we're on the ground floor.
And there's no sign. Is there any way of knowing what it is?
Yeah, there's the signs in the front, and then on 92nd between First and Second, there's a sign also.
That says it's a Chabad center?
Yes.
I've never noticed the sign. I think I know which building it is.
It says Aleph Bet Preschool and Chabad Israel Center, which is owned by, Chabad Israel Center owns the Aleph Bet Preschool.
And you have a center on 73rd Street or something like that? You have a center someplace else in the 70s?
That's owned by a different Chabad.
I see. So this one, I don't know how we're going to vote, but another possible option which does not solve the problem of traffic, would you start it east of the Litzia?
Yes, I mean we can get some barricades, I'm sure, and start it after the restaurant.
And Drunken Monkey also has, I believe, my memory is that it's on the street, it's an outdoor shed on the street. It's further down the block. So it is a very busy street.
Is that open?
Yes, I've eaten there.
Okay.
Yes. All right. Any other questions?
Michelle has her hand back up. Michelle.
Yeah, I'm unmuted. Thank you. Yes, I think this is very clear. I mean, there's no mystery about it, and I'd like to see them celebrate. I'd like to make a resolution that correct me if I'm Ariel, if I'm not representing your remarks accurately. But I would say that roughly the whereas is whereas 92nd Street is a through street for access to north and south to the FDR Drive, whereas 92nd Street between 1st and 2nd has 2 outdoor dining sheds that are actually in the street, whereas the Chabad Center is willing to have this fair on 93rd Street, that we support this application if it can be moved to 93rd Street, and have been advised that if they amend the application, an answer could be had by the time our full board meeting meets in September, so that we can vote on this and in a timely fashion, so that the Chabad Israel Center street party for the holiday for Simchas Torah can go forward. Is there a second?
I would like a question with it. I'm not sure. So if they do not come back with approval by that point,
Well,
then
they'll come
somebody will
back
have
with
to make a
92nd Street.
substitute. I'm
Yeah, I
sorry.
mean, then they'll just come back with the original application and we can just vote on it then. But since Ariel says that they could be amenable, it doesn't seem that they lose either way, so.
And do we have to say 93rd Street? Can we just say another approved street?
Well,
such
I
as
just
91st
wanted,
Street?
we could, but I just think it makes sense for them to
To be
have it on
closer.
an adjacent street.
Okay.
You know, so and 91st Street is another adjacent street, but I just picked 93rd.
No, you're right. It's between 92nd and 93rd.
Yeah,
Ariel,
so-
is this something that you would be willing to work on with us?
Yeah, I'm more than happy. I just have to talk to the rabbi and ask him if there was a specific reason he needed it on that street. But I'm sure, I don't think, I asked him, he said it has to be on 92nd. I guess that's because our address is 92nd.
Okay.
Right
Fine.
outside of our Chabad house, he said, so.
So can we have a second? Addison seconded it?
No, he just has his hand up. I don't know if
Oh,
he's second.
I'm sorry. Well, can we just see if we have a second on this resolution?
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you, Barb.
Go on.
Another thing I just want to say quickly is the reason that he wants to use it on 92nd is because we have our bathrooms that our community will have to use, and they need to be like able to access them.
But this is from 6 to 9.
6 to 9.
Yeah, in the evening.
Mhm.
Well, but often these street fairs don't have bathroom accessibility. I mean, so I don't think, and they could be directed to that anyway. I don't think that's a big hampering really. But at any rate, we have a second. And so if anybody wants to further comment or call the question or whatever you want, Barbara.
Well, let's call on Addison, if Addison could be unmuted.
Go ahead, Addison.
Sorry, I'm still new to most of this, but is there a way that we could build into the resolution the fact that if the 93rd or 91st or another street isn't possible, that we can just have an automatic sort of acceptance of the 92nd? That way we can sort of streamline the process later down the road so we don't have to have another conversation. I'm just trying to save time, basically.
I don't think we can do that, Will. Am I right? I think
could,
what we would do is we could.
Yeah, so you would, and this would be a friendly amendment to Michelle's resolution, where it would be, whereas we prefer it to be on one of these other streets, but whereas it, or be resolved that if it cannot be held on a adjacent street because of NYPD or some other reason, that we would also approve it on this street. You could just, it's like a be it further resolved. So you're just adding a friendly amendment. So Michelle would just have to accept the friendly amendment.
Yeah, I know what you're trying to do, Addison, but I think that I would prefer to have that said at the full board. I don't think I would accept it because these are two different locations and one shouldn't be had by default, because an argument can be made in opposition to the 92nd Street location, and you want to give board members an opportunity to either voice their approval of it or not. And by doing it this way, you're taking it away from their commentary. So I don't think, I know your reasons and it makes some sense, but it doesn't permit board members to make a comment on the location. So I think I would just like to keep it the way it is. And they'll have an opportunity to do it. It'll just be on the floor as something that's open to commentary. And I think that's important.
I agree. Okay. And I understand what you're saying, Addison, but I think this may be cleaner if we reject this and then you can give another resolution to say you approve it if this doesn't happen. We are the third Wednesday, Will may know that is our full board meeting. And at this point, I think we're Zoomed. Am I right, Will?
Absolutely, yeah. So it's
absolutely
be, yeah, absolutely is on Zoom on the 21st of September at 6:30 p.m. is when our full board will meet. And so Ariel, if you could, check on the other places and, if whatever you want to be able to present that night, you could come back to us and speak during the public session. And that way the, whatever update you may have.
And when you sign in, you'll have to sign in to say you want to speak, and you probably have about 3 minutes. It changes depending on what the issues are, but probably 3 minutes to speak and to explain. Another option would be just to send you, Will, if we sent just the application with 93rd instead of 92nd, would that be okay also, do you think? Or do you think coming in person and discussing it is necessary?
Also available, you can coordinate with Saida,
yeah,
who sent you your original invitation.
Okay.
Whatever updates that you may have. Ariel.
We would like to be cooperative. We would like to do it, but it just is a problem. You understand the problems, Ariel, I hope. Okay, thank you. I would be eager to go and join it.
Okay. So,
okay. So we now need to, I second the resolution without the amendment to it. And now the vote would be.
Yeah, go ahead and Michelle, your hand is up right now in the lower.
I was just going to call the question.
Go ahead.
I think you already did, didn't you? No.
Well, I made the resolution.
Oh, no. Okay, I second that.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So if you're going to vote no, abstain, or not vote for cause, go ahead and raise your hand right now to Michelle's resolution.
And we can't use Wilma, I guess, even though we know her.
The only folks who are still here are Barbara, Addison, and Michelle.
Oh, only
Lindsay had to leave as well. So it is 3 in favor. Sorry, make sure that nobody wants to raise their hand to vote now.
So Lindsay's not there?
No, Lindsay had to leave as well.
Okay.
So that is 3 in favor, 0 opposed, 0 abstention.
Great.
And we can move on to
I'm sorry, what does this mean in favor of the resolution?
The resolution. It's in favor of the changed resolution that we will approve if you come back for 93rd Street.
Okay.
I think I may phrase it, if it's okay, Michelle, I may make a change to say another street such as 93rd, or do you want to say just 93rd Street? You may come back for some reason and say 91st is a better street for some reason. I don't know.
No, I have no objection to saying 91st or 93rd, but I wouldn't say another street because that's just too broad. And I see a rationale for 93rd Street because they swing around towards. That's why I said 93rd. So I would just leave it at 93rd. Any kind of addition, another amendment could be made, at the meeting, but at the moment I'd leave it at 93rd.
Okay. That's fine.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. We're up to number 8, which is the Apple Fest.
Correct, yeah.
It's sponsored by Marymount, and it's a full street closure at East 71st Street between 2nd Avenue and 3rd Avenue. And it's on Friday, October 21st from 12 to 4 p.m. Anybody is here?
Yeah.
Yes.
Great, thanks.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Stephanie Chabad. I'm the Associate Director for Marymount Manhattan in the Office of Student Development and Activities. And Apple Fest is our traditional annual event that we host, like you mentioned, Barbara, between 2nd and 3rd Avenues on East 71st in front of our building. What we're going to do is have our traditional apple themed food along with activities for our students to have a chance to meet our registered student organizations, other departments and resources on campus. We tend to have a small speaker with some music. We work with the New York City Police Department to get parking signs up to notify the neighbors in this area that we will be having a street closure. We are very mindful of the parking lot that's up the street, and we don't go all the way up, nor do we block the entryway to the parking lot. So we will have some food from our catering service on campus. We won't have any inflatables. We'll have the students participate on tables, and they have board games and things of that nature. So nothing over the top. But we do also notify the neighbors in the surrounding areas with letters from the institution letting them know that this event will be happening about a week in advance.
And they're invited. Everybody is invited.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Any questions?
Just
Then I'm
a
gonna
reminder that you can participate by going to the reactions icon and pressing the raise hand button. But I'm not seeing any questions from the public.
I'm going to ask a quick question then, if I may. Do I remember correctly that you came in front of us for 2 different events last year, closing the street? This would be the 3rd closure for Marymount?
Yes, last time was for Strawberry Fest that happens in the springtime, and Apple Fest is our traditional event that happens in the fall.
And was there graduation or something else? I remember 2. Am I wrong about that? I could be. My memory.
No. I've been with Marymount for a year, and this is the 3rd event, the 3rd meeting I've been with you all for the traditional event. So this is a 2nd Apple Fest and Strawberry Fest, but for commencement, I don't believe, unless it was someone else, but I don't think there was another street party.
Okay. Will, do you remember, or?
I mean, what Stephanie described sounds correct to me.
Okay, that's perfect. Any other questions? Can I call the question?
You have a question from Michelle.
Yeah, I was going to just say, yes, I have somebody who works at Marymount, but I announce that as full disclosure all the time. However, I have there's no financial responsibility. But yes, it is correct that it's apple and then strawberry in the spring. We've never had any complaints. They do clear the garage. There is a garage right across the street from the school in a major apartment building, but they start the event east of that. There has never been a problem. We haven't had any complaints. It's mainly a welcoming to the students, and I think offering what the programming is and that kind of thing. Nothing particularly intrusive. Are you not having music, or are you having music?
Just on a small speaker.
What kind of music?
We curate an appropriate playlist for the students, just to have something in the background.
Oh, you just mean background music, not perform. But even if it's on a speaker, you have to get a permit for that.
Yeah.
From the thing. Okay. All right. I would fully support this. I hope we do, as we have all the years in the past.
Right.
It's a city street college. There's really no campus as we think of a campus for them to have some kind of an introduction like this. So I think it's an important community facility, and I think it's important that we support them. Especially, it's pretty non-intrusive. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle.
Madison, would you like to call the question?
Sure, I'll call the question.
Okay, and I'll second it. Good, Madison.
All right, that's on an approval of the application. So If you're voting no, abstaining, or not voting for cause on this application, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, and it's approved by a vote of 3-0 with Barbara, Addison, and Michelle.
Great.
Thank you all for your time.
Thank you. We look forward to it. And now we're up to number 9, which is the Yorkville Fall Festival, sponsored by the Yorkville Community School PS 151, a full street closure from East 88th Street between York and First Avenues. And it's on October 22nd from 11 to 3 p.m. We could hear about it.
Yeah. Angelina. Hi, my name is Angelina Labella. I am on the PTA board. I'm one of the PTA board members for major events. So this is a festival that we have every year. We've done it for many years before my kids were even in school. It includes some arts and crafts, games, kind of show like magic tricks types of things. We don't have food. We don't have inflatables. It is open to the public. We do sell tickets for the kids to play the different games, like, you know, or doing different arts and crafts, but we actually are quite liberal about, you know, if people can't afford tickets or buy tickets, anybody who comes up kind of can do the art and craft or do the game that we have. So it's just a community event. It's the fall festival. We've done it for many years just to kind of kickstart the school year for our children and for honestly for the neighborhood too. And again, we've had it for many years and it's been a nice event.
Thank you. Any questions?
So we have a hand up from Sarah McCash. Sarah, go ahead and unmute.
Hello, hi. I'm actually with Angelina. I'm one of the events chairs for YCS. So I was just gonna piggyback with her. Is, you know, we focus on a community event, also support our local businesses, and we had all the local business like the Mansion, Stella Fly, donate coffee, they donate goods, and they've been so supportive of our events, and we want to support the local business, especially in the pandemic. And just for the families all around with us during this time is also, you know, Halloween time. So it gives families to have a safe time to have trick-or-treating or just to have events in a street rather than at night. Since the pandemic, it has been difficult trick-or-treating for the past couple of years. So, and, you know, it's open to alumni, it's open to the public, and we definitely let the local streets know, a business know, we definitely let the garage attendants know what's going on. So we give them about at least, you know, a couple months head notice to let them know of a street closure on First Avenue between York and First Avenue.
It is October 22nd is your event, am I right?
Excuse me?
It's October 22nd.
Yeah, October 22nd.
So it's not Halloween.
Yeah, but you know, we encourage the kids to wear the costumes.
That's fine. That's I just wanted to double check. Any other questions?
Not seeing any from the public, so I'm going to go to Michelle. Michelle?
Yeah, it's a great event. I've attended it every year because both of my grandchildren went to this school. But I have a couple of questions. In the past, you've had inflatables. Are you saying you're not having them now? You've had like the dagger fighting, you've had rock climbing inflatable, you've had another one where it's a pull event. Is that?
We are
change?
Go ahead, Angelina.
No, go ahead, Sarah.
So the vendors we work with are insured, and we had inflatables for the past couple of years since Yorkville School has been having their tradition. We are open to it. You know, this fall we're going to see if that's something that we can do with space-wise. Last year we've been having problem with space parking. It was hard, even though we had a permit for that street. Some cars were not removed. And so it was a challenge just to have any type of inflatable. So this is something that we're thinking about whether we should continue it or not.
Okay. So it's an option. You may have it and your insurance has to cover it. And from a practical point of view, it has to fit on the street. Okay, that's fine. Because I knew I remembered them.
Yeah, we love them, but the cars,
Yeah, it's
some
difficult.
people did not comply to
Yeah.
our signs. So
I
that was a
get it.
challenge.
Let me just ask you another question about food. So my recollection, I mean, I'm pleased that anything that you do get, that you're getting from local stores, Mansion and others, they're important part of the community. But my recollection is that you brought hamburgers and stuff from your inside, cafeteria staff. Is that not happening this year?
Not this year.
So that's a change.
Yeah, that's a change. So this year we wanted, the last year we had Mansion, they donated soup, mac and cheese, and we also had Roma Pizza across the street, also donated half the pizzas. And then we had like Stella and Fly donate coffee. We just didn't want to deal with electricity. It was so hard to deal with anything. And, especially the pandemics and COVID, we wanted to make sure that
Well, the big issue then was having who was going to operate the gas-powered grills. It had to be adults because it's a dangerous situation. But at any rate, any food that you do have will be coming from local stores, is what you're saying.
Right, core washers donated to bakeries. So yes,
that's great.
A lot of our baked goods come from ore washers.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think I can do it, but if there's, can I make I can't make well, Addison can make a resolution if he wants to. I spoke, so I guess I can't make a resolution.
I'll make a resolution to approve.
Okay. I second it.
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to count that as a calling the question as well, unless anybody speaks up. And we'll go ahead and say, raise your hand if you're going to vote no, abstain, or not vote for cause. And otherwise, it looks like it is a 3-0 vote of approval.
That's great. And the next one is Carnegie Hill. Carnegie Hill Neighbors, that's for Halloween, a CHN Spooktacular. That's adorable. That's very cute. Closure on East 92nd Street between Madison and Park, Monday, October 31st from 4 to 6 p.m. Any question? Anybody presenting?
Yeah, we have Joanna.
Yes, hi. My name is Joanna Cawley. I'm Executive Director of Carnegie Hill Neighbors. We're a 50-year-old landmarks and preservation organization. We also service the neighborhood with quality of life programming and other improvements. We publish a twice annual newsletter. This is our latest newsletter from the spring. We're working on our fall one now. Every year for the past 12 years, we've had our annual Spooktacular. It's a free to all, open to the public block party that we put on for the neighborhood and for anyone out of the neighborhood to come and enjoy. It's what we do as a thank you to many of the families and other residents of the neighborhood who support our organization. So we're a membership organization, and this is one of the thank yous, one of our community events that we do to say thank you. So every year, so what did I tell you? This is our 12th year having the event. We skipped 2020 due to the pandemic. We did a virtual Spooktacular that year, but we had it again last year in 2021. The event has changed slightly since the pandemic in that we used to provide water bottles, mini water bottles, and candy and treats to guests who came to the block party. But now we've cut it back to just packaged candies that we buy at local brick and mortar stores. Tricks and treats, right? Little mini chocolates and candies and things of that nature. We found that the water bottles generated a lot of trash, and we're cognizant of the plastic that's used with those. We wanted to move to the paper boxed waters, but they're prohibitively expensive. So we don't do any liquids anymore. What else has changed in the last, let's see, if anyone has been up to Carnegie Hill recently, you'll see that we have a lot of development happening, especially around Madison Avenue. The Wales Hotel is being converted to a condo, and they have a massive operation with an exterior construction elevator on 92nd Street, which we don't want to have our kids around. And actually, you know, I don't know, it's kind of kismet that it's straight on face to Table d'Hôte that also has an outdoor restaurant shed. So what we did last year was we pushed our footprint for the block party a little further up the street towards Park Avenue, where we used to block off everything from curb corner to corner, but now we're avoiding that construction area. And in so doing, we also avoid blocking off the restaurant there. So, so the event is 2 hours. We have a little bit of time on either end for setup and breakdown. We have amplified music. We pull our electricity from Brick Church. We receive a sound permit from the NYPD. We have a DJ with child appropriate music. Something else that's changed, we used to have a costume parade procession type thing. Now we just have a little freeze dance party right in front of the DJ, and have kids in their age group come up and dance at the same time. We don't do a parade or a procession anymore. We just think it's more informal and more inclusive and less anxiety producing for kids. They don't need to, you know, parade themselves. They can just go around, bop around, and then we do a little freeze dance that way. What else can I tell you? We send a letter out 2 weeks before, a memo and a letter to all of the residents, the brownstone on the block, and also the apartment buildings and the surrounding businesses that we are doing this event. We ask that the block be cleared of cars. So we post the police, the NYPD, no parking signs, like the former presenter. People don't pay attention, and a lot of times we're left with several cars on the block. So we just kind of maneuver around that. There's nothing we can really do about it. We wouldn't ask the city to tow those cars. That would be crazy for a Halloween block party. What else can I say? Yeah, that's about it.
Thank you. Any questions? Anybody want to call the question?
We have Michelle.
Oh.
Go ahead, Michelle.
Yeah. No, this sounds great, Joanna. I don't think there's been any issue with it the other years, and it sounds pretty unobtrusive. I don't think there'll be a problem. I have one question because I noticed that they're absent, but if you recall, there is a block association, or it's not even an association, but a loosely held group on a block that in the years past has also had a Halloween party.
Yes.
And I don't see it listed to you, and I had not been supportive of theirs over the years. I am supportive of yours for reasons I won't go into now, but because it was an ad hoc group, no association, you know, that was the reason. But at any rate, I question their absence. To your knowledge, does that mean that they will not be filing this year? Or
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah. I noticed that on the roster for this evening that they weren't represented. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And they don't typically you know, communicate with us their plans.
Okay. No, I just thought that you might. But I fully support the Carnegie Hill neighbors having such an event. Thank you.
Madison, do you have anything to say?
I'll call the question.
Thanks. I'll second it.
I second it too.
Great.
Thank you, the esteemed committee, of which
Thank
there
you
are
for
two
doing
left.
All right, if there are no votes, I'm just gonna give you guys a second, clarify your vote. It's gonna be recorded as a vote of 3 in favor, 0 opposed. Michelle, Barbara, and Addison.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Good
I hope to
meeting.
see you there.
Hope so. Thank you very much for doing it.
Yes.
We have old business, new business. Anybody like just any comments or anything about it? If not, we could tell Will that we appreciate the good night for him coming in August.
Well, of course, Michelle, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
Move to adjourn, and thank you, Will.
Thank you.
Yeah,
And thank you,
guys.
everybody. And thanks, Addison, for staying. Great. We'll see you in a couple of
Thank
weeks.
you.